Ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to speak here as the authorized delegate of Mr. Jacques Varret, who is the president of CESMAT. So I am here to speak about the importance of vocational training for mining industry executives based on the example of the CESMAT training. How it works. So, okay. What is the CESMAT? So the CESMAT is the Center for Advanced Studies in Mineral Resources. It is an advanced studies institution for upper management aimed at staff working in mining industry. It has been created in 1975 by the French Ministry of Industry to promote exchange among the various sectors of technical mining expertise, to establish a network of relations with the mineral-producing countries all around the world, and that through training and technical cooperation. It is based on only seven 9-month training programs, and in fact it is the association of 4 academic institutions which are organizing together training with the same philosophies, even if they don't have the same content. The profile of the trainees is mainly mining engineers, geologists, or managers involved in mining industry. And what is very important is with several years of professional experience. Could be young people, but not, they must have some experience before coming in our trainings. So the CESMAT program covers a huge range of the mining life. It starts at the state level, and I've heard a lot here that the mining laws in Kazakhstan have to be improved. So there is a course called SESAM, which deals with public administration of mine and mining laws and mining codes in various countries. And it's a place where we have non-technicians, but we can have lawyers, for example, in this course. Then if we take just a mine, all along the mine life, through prospecting, mining, ore processing, and mining closure, we have 6 trainings which cover a huge part of this mining life. CESEV is for exploration and valorization, so prospecting and ore processing. CFSG is geostatistics, which means it's an evaluation of resources and reserves, but not only, because we have influence all along the life, up to pollution studies and a little bit, not so much, ore processing. CESECO is aimed at open pit techniques of open pit mining. CESPROMIN is, for the mining project. And they also have, which are no more on the screen, sorry, the CESEM, which is security and mining environment, mining security and environment, and the TEMIN, which aims at mine closure. So you see that we cover a large part of the life of a mine among several tens of years. So from our experience, what can be found? The future of mining industry, as it had already been said in some previous speech and previous sessions, in this future, the ore bodies are likely to be less rich, deeper, in a more complex geological context. And mining these ore bodies will require performing techniques which will be based on innovative advances. So it seems obvious that the correct use of these new methods requires a good quality training. But it's not only its use, but it's also the choice to use these new methods which require good quality training, good quality training of the people who will take technical decisions, because it's not because there is a very useful innovation for one mine that it is applicable or useful to apply it in another mine. So people have to know which choice to make. Okay. Okay. True. So I have to go back. Thanks. No, sorry. It's nice. It was nice. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay. So about training in general, and for some cases, training of executive staff. So it's obvious that the first thing of training for a company, I am not speaking about initial training and for School of Mines, which train young people, but for people who are have been already hired in companies. So the company can have to train their staff, because even for the young, the initial training is not always exactly tuned to the job. Second need, after some time, people can change of job and they can require retraining. Or they can gain responsibility and they will need to manage people and several more various things, and the competency they need will change. About innovation. For a company, innovation works at two levels. The company can produce innovation itself, or can want to use innovation which has been designed somewhere else. And in both cases, it's extremely important that the company has a well-trained staff, well-trained for this innovation. If it's completely new, or well-trained to know what exists and what should be applied, or how they could improve their methods for if it's to produce innovation in the company. And another point, which is not always so obvious, companies can need experts coming from their own ranks. It's often in worldwide common practice to try to hire consultants as experts. But consultants, they come, they go, they can be experts, but not maybe on your specific problems. So it can often be useful to train experts in the company itself. And I know that it has been the case for some other companies, for example, in Chile, in Codelco company, they have their own experts on copper. So training can be done through a lot of possible training systems. There is first two choices. Company can hire already trained people. Could be young people already trained in some way. Can be consultants. Can be people who just change the company. Or can want to train the company staff. So when the choice to train the company staff is done, this training can be done at distance. Common methods are e-learning. Several methods for e-learning. Can be in-house training, especially when the company needs to train enough people on the same subject. Or can be training out of company grounds when there is no e-learning available for the given subject and when the need of training is for very few people. When it's training out of company grounds, it can also be the case for e-learning or in-house training, but it's less common. There is a choice between short-time training for very specific subjects and long-time training, which often propose to gain knowledge of the state of the art on a given subject. So at the level of executive staff, this knowledge of the state of the art is usually very important. It does not necessarily need to be gained by a long time training, can be done by several short trainings, but this possibility exists. And it is very important to choose a training method adapted to the training content. For example, for a practical training, it's difficult to get it with an online training or e-learning training. In the previous system, we have the presentation that the e-learning was the start before the training on simulators and the more practical one, but the e-learning itself is not enough for practical training. Something also important is that a training must be adapted to prior knowledge, or both cases exist, prior knowledge must be consistent with the training content. I am myself very sensitive to this problem because I am involved in a training in geostatistics, which is mostly mathematics, and most of our trainees are geologists. So we must be able to adapt a mathematics course to the mathematics knowledge of geologists. Sometimes it works quite well, and sometimes, depending on the country they come from, depending on the basic mathematics they have got in a university, sometimes it does not work, and they should improve their mathematics knowledge before coming. So both adaptations are important. Something also very important, when the training is difficult, and it's often the case for executive staff, they have to gain a lot of knowledge on a lot of subjects, and it's not usually very easy. It is necessary to train highly performing people. That normally the company knows who to manage that. They choose highly performing people for the training, but also highly motivated people. And this problem of motivation for highly performant people, it is often a matter of timing. The motivation in principle is there, but maybe not now, not necessarily at the moment it's proposed to the future trainee. So it has to be taken into account. The training can conflict with other obligations of the people. So this must be taken into account. And also something that I would not have thought in speaking about that some years ago, but in times of economic difficulties, it is important that the staff is well trained, because it is important that the staff is efficient. So now, this year, we often have companies saying us, okay, we would like to train people, but the times are hard and we cannot send people now. I would say, I'm not sure it's the best choice. It could be, it's time to train them so that they will be more efficient when they come back to compensate for the economic difficulties. Okay. So, for this training of executive staff in mining industry, it is very important to have a consistency between the technical training needs and the human resources management. So, in fact, the answer the company will have, the question the company will have to answer is, what is the best training for a given need? And this includes what is the best person to train and at which time this person should be trained. Thanks for your attention.